Jeez. Not accidentally, I mean, I was trying to close distance to this bird, but I thought he was a lot further away than what he was. Still got hens over the bank there. As I was walking in, I started hearing hens scratching. I got in a big old bunch of scratching. I mean, it's just, the ridge is just tore up through here. I was thinking this gobbler, I've been working him for a couple hours. I was thinking he was further down over the lip of this and out a finger point quite a ways. I just completely misjudged his location. But when I came in here and crested the top of this ridge, man, I have gotten this new gun tapped in. This is my second gobbler of the year, and it eat his head up. The first gobbler, it eat it up, and this one too. Just flat eat it up. But he wasn't very far away from me, but I was coming up this sharp point. I had been on a similar type point all morning working this bird since daybreak. And then I heard him gobble, and he just sounded like he was so far away. I guess he was over the lip of this real steep ridge, and he sounded like he was further down this finger point. But I mean, I was making time. I mean, no face mask on, no glove, no nothing. Just finished answering David on a text message. And as I'm cresting up over this hill right here, I don't know what's going on with him. He's flat eat up. Big old Tom. But as I'm cresting up over this ridge right here, I start to hear turkey scratching from down here. And I was already walking across a lot of fresh turkey scratching, which was making me think he was really henned up with a lot of hens. He had covered a hen, I believe, over on the other ridge. And then I had a hen next to me, and after he covered her, I assumed he drifted off with more hens or another hen. And the hen that I had feeding next to me, when he was triple and quadruple gobbling and everything, before and after he covered her, that hen actually headed out this way too. And I figured, okay, he's picked up multiple hens, he's working away from me. And I just sat for about an hour and just kept calling. But anyway, I'm coming back up the top of this ridge trying to close distance to him. I had planned on going a lot further than this. And when I got to the top of the ridge, there's a log across, and I could see a tail fan on the other side of the log. I just started hearing scratching over here, so I knew I was into some turkeys. That's what caused me to stop long enough to look. And then when I looked, I saw the tail fan. He brought his head up at one point, but all I could see was just his head, just the very top of his head. And I didn't feel comfortable with that shot, so I got the camera going when his fan come back out. Took a couple half steps, 2 or 3 half steps up to get a little higher to where I might be able to see over the log just enough to get a shot. And he folded back, brought his head up to where I could see his whole head and neck. And I eat him up with this Remington 870. But I'll check this bird out real quick. I'm excited about this bird. I knew he was a mature gobbler. See what I got here. Back the camera away. Alright, it is. Man, it eat him up. It's got a nice thick beard on him, but it ain't the longest beard in the world. But I do think it's a very pretty, healthy beard. But I do think it's going to go. It'll go 9 inches, maybe even better. It might be a 10-inch beard. It ain't no gigantic beard. This is what I want to look at. Yeah, there we go. I knew this was an old Tom. Look at the hooks on that bird. That's a spur right there. Sharp, long. He's hung up. Lost interest. Well, I got in front of him. Finally got him. He's just a 2-year-old probably. He asked for spurs. Yeah, it's just a 2-year-old. I got in on a really big mature tom this morning and he hung up on me out in the field. Gobbled up a storm but lost interest and drifted away. So I saw these 2 toms over on the opposite side of the road. Decided to come over and give them a try. Had a couple fun hunts this morning. I got up late. I mean, it was after 6. It was probably 6:15. And so I was really late getting out here. I overslept. I don't even remember answering my alarm clock at 5:15. So I overslept by an hour. But I got up and talked to Vicky for a little bit and got in the car and came on over here to the farm. And when I got here, I decided I'd check this upper field. This is where I had missed a gobbler a few days ago on a rainy day. I called one in with my Lynch's foolproof turkey call and caught him right into my lap and missed him. He made me out. He only gobbled twice coming in. I knew he was coming before he even popped into view, and I think I was fooling with the camera and reach up and did something with the record button, and when I come back down, I think he saw that slight movement. His head was already popped up at the base of some poplars over there, and I just kind of froze up. He calmed down a little, but then when he started to move again, to get a different angle, he started clucking and alert putting, and head was moving, and it was barely over the lip of the field, and I took a shot thinking I could get on the head, but I missed him. He went back up that way. Well, this morning I come in, I was going to blow the coyote howl, even though it was, you know, 35 minutes after, a good 35 minutes after daylight. But as soon as I stepped out of the car, I could hear one gobbling down here. Might be the same bird. I got out of the vehicle, got geared up really fast, should have grabbed my decoys again, but I knew he was probably either in the field or just at the edge of the field, and I knew I couldn't get out in the field safely without possibly bumping him. So I low crawled in behind this log that I'm sitting on. I got all the way out here to the end of it. Got the video camera up on top of the log, nice and stable. Got my gun just behind the log a little bit where I could just pop it up over for a shot. And face mask on, just the top of my head sticking over the top. I could move my arms a little bit and my hands a little bit without worrying about him seeing it because the log would block any of the motion. So I got in behind there and I did some calling. And I did a loud series like that, and then the next series I did was a little bit lower in volume. And then and he answered every time. The third series I did was even lower in volume. He was gobbling every 15-20 seconds, and that went on for some time. And after that series of 3 calls, 3 series of yelping like that 3 to 5 times, he come out into the field and strutted a little bit and was coming. Head's all white and blue, and he looked like he was kind of fired up, but he's coming, and I'm thinking he's going to come on a string. He gets here to the wood pile in behind the camera, which is, there's a tree line comes out to the wood pile, and that's actually where I was sitting at, where I believe this is the same bird. He's a giant gobbler, a real old, big paintbrush beard gobbler. But he actually came right into the point of the trees where I had actually been sitting before whenever he made me, and I shot and missed. So it might not be the same bird, I'm not sure, but I believe it possibly is. I believe in the last few days he's probably migrated back over. He seems to like this area. So I sat there for a little bit and I actually did some calling while I was in view, some feeding purrs and putts, and he gobbled every time, and he was very interested. I got a little bit of video footage of him down there gobbling, and after about 35 to 40 minutes, he lost interest. He did not see me. I was not moving. He didn't act like he was alarmed. He just slowly fed. He just turned away and slowly fed back the direction he come from. I don't know if he heard a hen over that way. I didn't hear anything, or he was just hung up, and he wasn't going to come up here. He knew he was pretty down in the bottom. He knew he was visible, and he just couldn't understand why the hens wasn't coming down to him. He's old and smart enough to know something wasn't right, and he went on the other way. So instead of bumping him, because I knew I had at least one more hunting day this year before we go, I can hunt this upcoming Friday. And we're going to go on a cruise on Saturday, but I could probably get a hunt in on Friday if I had to. And I didn't want to bump him out and just completely ruin my chances at him come Friday. So I backed out of here, got in the car, drove to the end of the driveway down to the main driveway that goes up, and looked across the field. And on the point, I'm always hearing two gobblers up in the bowl over there, and there's two strutters, at least 3 jakes, and 2 hens over on the point. So I got some pictures and some video of them. One of them looked like a really good bird. The other one looked like a 2-3 year old. And got an idea what direction of travel they were going. Ended up driving on up, parked the vehicle, climbed underneath the fence, hit a ravine, crossed over on the knoll to about the place that I thought they would come over, and got settled in against a tree, but in a standing position. It's real thick in there. If I sat down, I wouldn't be able to see a turkey 10 yards in front of me. So I had to stand up. And so I was sitting there for just a little bit, and the farmer ended up coming down. And my buddy, he comes down and he starts feeding. And just down below me, I can see him right there, you know, even from the tree line, or from inside the woods, inside the tree line, I can see him down across the road there feeding. And as he's down there feeding, those birds are feeding up towards me. He I believe kept them from taking any kind of line down below me into the field. So they stayed where I wanted them to stay and come right the way I thought they would come. And I had a couple hens come in first, and then a third hen come in. She was pretty close. And the 2 hens further back had no idea I was there, but when the closer hen got even closer and got on the side of the tree that I was leaned against, she made my position. At that point, I'd already seen the tail fan and part of the head of one of the strutters. So whenever she alert putted and wheeled around to go back the other direction, all he did was come out of strut and crane his head straight up. I put the scope on him. He was definitely within range. It was probably a 32-yard shot if I had to guess. Of course, I made the shot, went up to the bird, and I believe this is probably the smaller of the 2 gobblers. Looks like a 2 or a 3 year old. But he's got a good 8-9 inch beard on him. And I'm tagged out. Real happy about this hunt. The landowner actually was looking up, you know, whenever I made the shot. He had seen the strutting birds, and after I shot one, the other gobbler flew across above him, and so that was pretty exciting for him. And you know, he's right there in view while the turkey's flopping on the bank up there. And so I went on back down and helped him and his wife round up the cows and get him into another field, and told him the story about what happened. He was pretty excited about it, and really blessed to have him in my life and have permission to be on this ground. This is the best turkey habitat I've ever seen. Big nesting on one side of the fields, huge nesting on the other side of the fields, some rim rock up there they feel real comfortable roosting in, and just fields that run straight back into beautiful, beautiful habitat. Clear cuts on one side, clear cuts on the other. Old, makes great nesting grounds, and they're getting ready to do another clear cut straight back, so it's going to be totally surrounded by nice cover. So it's a really beautiful place to hunt, and I'm going to take him home, get him breasted out, and get that get that in the freezer, and I still got breast meat in the refrigerator I need to take to Dad, so I'm going to try to get that to Dad this week. And I'll save this one for some ramps and taters and some turkey tips, barbecue turkey tips, a little later down the road. So really good hunt, really enjoyed it. Glad to tag out.